the Mississippi River Leviathan. The year was 1877, and Captain John Carraway was guiding his towboat B-Wing down the mighty Mississippi. The sun was beginning to set, casting an amber glow across the muddy waters. His 6 coal barges followed in tow, weighed down with thousands of pounds of cargo. It was supposed to be an uneventful journey, a routine trip along one of America's busiest waterways. But routine turned to terror as a strange sound echoed over the water. At first, Carraway thought it was steam escaping from a nearby boat. The sound was harsh, rhythmic, like an engine struggling to breathe. Yet there was no smoke on the horizon, no vessel in sight. The noise grew louder, closer. It wasn't mechanical at all. It was primal, a guttural wheeze that made the hair on the back of his neck stand on end. Then, from around a bend in the river, it appeared. Carraway's eyes widened in disbelief as a shape emerged from the water, writhing against the current. At first glance, it looked like a tree uprooted in a storm, dark, twisted and massive. But this was no tree. The creature's serpentine body stretched over 50 feet, its slimy neck arching out of the water like a cobra about to strike. Its head was monstrous. Carraway described it as a cross between a bulldog and a pelican, with a wide, gaping maw and a long, spear-like beak. Its eyes glowed like hot coals, and its tail lashed the water, sending waves crashing against the boat. But what truly chilled him was the creature's roar, a deep, resonant bellow that seemed to shake the very riverbanks. The crew froze in place, paralyzed by fear. They'd heard stories of strange things lurking in the Mississippi's murky depths, but they always chalked it up to drunken tall tales. Now those stories had come to life. Carraway's instincts kicked in. He ordered his crew to increase the towboat's speed. The creature was moving fast, too fast. It was closing the distance between them at an alarming rate. The crew watched in horror as the monster dipped beneath the surface, disappearing from sight. For a few moments, there was nothing but the sound of rushing water and the pounding of their own hearts. Then, without warning, the river erupted in a massive spray of water. The lead barge lifted violently into the air, thrown like a toy in the hands of a giant. Henry Decker, a young deckhand, screamed as he was tossed overboard, vanishing into the swirling water below. "Hold steady!" Carraway shouted, gripping the wheel with white knuckles. But the monster wasn't done. It lunged again, its enormous bill stabbing into the barge like a dagger. The impact sent splinters of wood flying, and the barge began to take on water. Coal spilled into the river, darkening the already muddy waters. Decker surfaced, coughing and spluttering, desperately trying to stay afloat. He managed to grab hold of a nearby barge, pulling himself to safety, but the fear in his eyes told the story. He'd seen the creature up close, and it was far worse than anyone could have imagined. The monster wasn't just attacking out of instinct, it was hunting. As the barge sank, the crew watched in horror as the creature reared its head once more, letting out another ear-splitting roar. It wasn't just a beast, it was a force of nature, something ancient and unforgiving, awakened from the depths of the river to wreak havoc on anything in its path. By the time the B-Wing reached Memphis, the crew was in a state of shock. News of the encounter spread like wildfire, but the monster wasn't done. Reports started flooding in from towns and settlements along the river. One witness described seeing a monstrous silhouette moving under the water, its dorsal fin slicing through the surface like a shark's, only much larger. Another claimed to have seen 2 massive horns protruding from the creature's head, glowing faintly in the moonlight. At Flournoy's Landing, 15 miles downriver from Memphis, a group of farmers gathered on the banks as the creature passed by, bellowing loudly enough to shake the windows of nearby homes. They said it moved with unnatural speed, faster than any riverboat, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Boats were overturned. Livestock went missing. And at Devil's Elbow Cutoff, a fisherman claimed to have seen the creature rise fully out of the water, its scaly hide glistening in the moonlight. But what terrified everyone the most was the piece of evidence Captain Carraway brought back with him, a splintered fragment of the monster's bill, wedged deep into the side of one of the barges. The fragment was 4 feet long, dark green with streaks of brown and harder than steel. Scientists in Memphis examined it, baffled by its composition. It wasn't bone, nor was it wood. It was something else entirely, something unnatural. The question on everyone's mind was the same. What kind of creature could leave behind a weapon like that? But in the weeks that followed, more sightings were reported, each one more terrifying than the last. What was this creature? A prehistoric survivor? A creature from another world, or something far more sinister? A guardian of the river's darkest secrets? What do you think? Could something like this still be lurking in the depths of the Mississippi, waiting to be seen again? Stay with us as we dive even deeper into the legend of the Mississippi River Leviathan and the mystery it left behind. Stay curious and stay safe.